Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Movie Mandates, the show where my sister and I force each other to watch movies according to a monthly theme. I'm Andrew.
I'm Kelly.
You've heard of feel-good movies?
I have.
Well, this month is all about feel-bad movies. No, we don't hate ourselves. It's March. So I mandated we watch Sophie's Choice, and now I feel bad. So, mission accomplished?
Yeah, kind of. I guess so.
Well, before we get to the review, it's only fair that since I mandated today's movie, Kelly gets to challenge me in a segment we call Trivial Trivia.
Yes. So, there is a wonderful trivia question for this movie. However, I'm going to ask it. You're not going to know the answer. That's fine, because I have backup trivia. Okay. So, the real trivia question is, Meryl Streep and Kevin Kline actually join each other on screen and on stage many times throughout their lives. Yeah. Can you name... I know you can't, because I know the answers, and I'm like, he doesn't know these movies. I have learned, however, that Peter MacNicol and Kevin Kline and Peter MacNicol and Meryl Streep haven't worked together again.
Never again.
They're like, okay, just this little guy. I'm joking.
They were both going to be in Ghostbusters too, but they were like, who's playing Janos?
No.
Peter MacNicol.
Peter MacNicol? No. So, I will say, Sophie's Choice was their first outing together. And then they did...
Wasn't it Kevin Kline's first film? Or
It was Kevin Kline's first film.
Okay.
Yeah. Which reminded me of Mr. Chris Sarandon. My gosh, Eisen. With Dog Day Afternoon, because that was his first foray into...
I still haven't seen that.
Dog Day Afternoon? Yes, you have. Because you mandated.
Oh, what was I... I was thinking of the Dustin Hoffman film... It's a home invasion film. What am I thinking of?
That I don't.
Yeah, we watched that on a previous episode just recently. Yes, I've seen Dog Day Afternoon. It's good.
Yes. So anyways, since this is not the real one, so Sophie's Choice, Prairie Home Companion, and Ricky and the Flash. There you go.
Not heard of him, so okay.
There you go. Here's the real one. Okay, brother, we're going to do some Sophie's Choices here. Turkey or chicken? This is rapid fire, my friend. Go.
Okay. Turkey.
Tell me what you're keeping. I'm sorry. Tell me what you're keeping. Turkey or chicken?
Oh, what I'm keeping. Okay, turkey.
We're keeping turkey. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Creamy peanut butter or crunchy?
Creamy.
Freddy or Jason?
Freddy.
Addams Family or Munsters?
Addams Family.
Mario or Luigi?
Mario.
Tom Hanks or Tom Cruise?
Hanks.
Mac or PC?
PC. This is the first one I went the second choice.
Cocoa or cider?
Cocoa.
Hot or cold?
Cold.
Jimmy Kimmel or Fallon?
Jesus Christ. Fuck them both. Kimmel.
Good answer. That is the correct answer for anyone wondering. Godzilla or King Kong?
That's an interesting one. If I may expand on this one a little bit. Sorry. Does this break the flow or screw anything up? Okay. I just want to say, it's Godzilla, but I like more of King Kong's movies.
Fair.
Godzilla or King Kong has fewer movies, but a much better track record when it comes to good movies. Most of Godzilla's movies suck, but but he's super cool anyway.
Disney World or Disneyland?
Land. It's the one I know.
Yep. Cat or dog?
Cat.
And ready, bird or fish?
Fish. They're delicious. And
now he is known. But yeah, so I was really excited that Kevin Kline and Meryl Streep have also been in apparently a couple of plays together in both the West End and Broadway. And there's another film that they're in called like The Art of War or something like that, but it's a documentary about them doing a play. So in my head, I'm like, yes, a documentary is a film, fully a film. But if it's a documentary basically just following them doing a play, I just put that in the category of it's a filmed behind the scenes of a play. Just as a thing. So yeah, but I was really excited. I have seen Ricky and the Flash. Mm-hmm. It's a movie. It exists. I kind of forgot he was in it, but they play exes. And then I've never seen Prairie Home Companion, nor did I ever listen to it. Wasn't that an NPR thing with Garrison Keillor or something? Prairie Home Companion? Do you
no idea. Nope.
Those words together don't mean much to you?
Nope.
Okay.
I know there's a little home on the prairie, but...
I know less about the Little Home on the Prairie than the Prairie Home Companion, and I know nothing about the Prairie Home Companion. But, so yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So that was fun.
Yeah, I don't think this movie would have been as feel bad if any of those were the choice Sophie had to make. It's like, oh yeah?
Chicken or fish?
Chicken or fish. Cake or death?
Cake or death. We're all out of cake. I didn't know. We only had 3 slices, and we didn't know there'd be such a run.
All right, now we're just going to end up quoting Eddie Izzard.
Yes, because she's amazing. Okay. So, we watched Sophie's Choice.
We did.
Me for the second time.
Me for the first.
Which is funny, because after I watched it the first time years ago, I'm like, well, there's a movie I never need to watch again.
Oh, seen it. No need to see that again.
And yet, here we are. I have watched it again. And yeah, it's a feel-bad movie. However,
why are feel-bad movies always 2.5 hours long?
Because that's what makes you feel so bad. They really got to get in there.
That's right.
And they got to really...
Like, I rub the salt in that wound a bit. Got to knead it in there.
Really get that heartstring pull so that it's like a pulled tendon type of a thing. So, interesting. I didn't the first time and I didn't this time cry. And...
neither did I.
Okay.
I didn't even know... No weepies, no misties, no nothing.
And it is
I didn't feel good about it.
And it is
definitely feel bad.
Sad movie.
Yeah.
It is a feel bad movie. But it's not a tearjerker, so it's good that it went with this. Like, this wouldn't have been a good tearjerker one because I actually didn't cry.
We had tearjerkers, right?
Yeah, you had the...
I think I had Return of the Living Dead 3. You had
And then I had Steel Magnolias, which I definitely cried
tearjerker, yeah.
Which was a tearjerker, but
this not a feel-bad movie.
No.
Interesting how there's a difference between a tearjerker and a feel-bad movie.
Definitely a difference. Because, yeah, like, feel-bad movie for me is that one... Like, just, not that anyone needs an explanation, but, like, it's not about crying. Mm-hmm. It's about being bereft of emotion afterwards. Like, I'm just, like that kind of, it's like hopeless. Like, it's like
just, you finish this movie at 8 o'clock and it's like, I'm just going to go to bed.
Yeah, it's like a tragic.
I'm done for the day.
It's like just, it's tragic. Sophie's life is just tragic, but the thing about this movie that makes it not a tearjerker is the way in which it is delivered.
And what's interesting about this film is her life is so tragic that she can't face the reality of it.
Yeah.
And even when we get to although there are Sophie's Choice, as good movies want to do, could refer to any number of things throughout this film. Everything from the titular Sophie's Choice, the one that everyone knows, the one that even I knew what it was going into the film,
right,
to the simple, which bow is she going to pick?
Well,
right?
And that's so. It's funny that you say that because so the first time that I watched Sophie's Choice years ago, to be fair, I did not know what she was choosing between. Mm-hmm. I actually, and we should get to the plot here in a moment.
I was thinking about that last night when I watched the film. It's like, imagine going into this film blind, not knowing what Sophie's Choice is.
Yeah.
And you'd be watching this movie like it's a rom-com or something. It's like, oh, okay, it's like Three's Company. A guy lives in a house with 2 girls, and it's like,
it's never
girl lives in a house with 2 guys.
Funny, bro.
No, it's not. But that's what you. and then you watch and you're like, oh, it's not a comedy, it's a drama. But so where we're going, Sophie's choice is she pick Kevin Kline or the younger Peter MacNicol. And then you get to the Sophie's choice and you're like, what in the biscuits? Oh!
Right. So yes, absolutely. Because when I watched it the first time, I here's what I went.
I watched the trailer. No spoilers. They don't spoil Sophie's choice.
I actually don't think I've watched the trailers, but
I was really curious about that. I checked that out.
That's interesting. Which nowadays they probably would.
Yeah.
They 100% a trailer for that now would be like, take my daughter.
That would be the cliffhanger of the trailer.
Oh, so that you knew like what is she going to? But like so that was my thing. So I knew the concept of Sophie's Choice in that I had heard it used colloquially like, it's a real Sophie's Choice or whatever. As in, there is no good decision. Both decisions are wrong, but you have to make one type of a thing. So I get that. And so as I was watching the movie the first time, because the actual scene of I know, so it's a 2.5 hour movie. It is 2 hours and like 17 minutes in that she makes the choice, by the way.
Yeah, it's the second to last thing in the movie, really.
Yes. So there's like 10 minutes after.
Yeah.
So, and then credits, which is why I said 2:17. But like, so I was watching
Sophie's Choice, and then everybody dies.
And then everybody dies.
It's like, oh, for Christ's sake, they all die, too.
Including her children.
Somehow I didn't see that coming.
Interesting. How did you think it was? Okay, so let's back up for a moment, okay? So Peter MacNicol plays a 22. Did they look older? Like, I feel like maybe it's just
it's all the cocaine
style.
They were doing in the 80s. It just aged them real quick.
It just really aged. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Because he plays
definitely a very young Peter MacNicol.
Very young. Back in the day when they thought he was going to be a leading man. Good for him, though. I like Peter MacNicol.
I do too. You know, he's funny as hell in Ghostbusters too.
No.
I don't think the character works, but
I loved him as Renfield in the worst
Mel Brooks one, right?
Dead and Loving.
Yeah, it's terrible. But he's funny.
But there's a scene in that when he's trying to it's like the only scene that I laughed at. Because Peter MacNicol plays Renfield, and he runs this way, and then he runs this way, and then he runs this way.
I lost
them, and I remember.
Very fortunate. He's stupid. He's an idiot.
And I remember nothing else about the movie other than I did not like it, but that was a funny scene.
He also was the lead in Dragon Slayer.
Like I said, back in the day when they were trying to make him a leading man.
Still probably one of the coolest filmic dragons ever. That thing's still, other than a couple of optical shots, just at a creature design and performance.
Yeah. So Peter MacNicol moves to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
From Virginia, so he's a Southern boy. Which, let's not get into geography, but I know why Virginia is considered the South. I get where and why those lines were drawn because of things, but I've always been like, why is Virginia the South?
It's just mid, really.
Seems not so South to me. But anyways, that's just geography, not actual why. So anyways, he's a good old Southern boy, and he moves to Brooklyn, and he lives in this lovely house. He has a room in this house, and by the way, as someone who's lived in Brooklyn, that's exactly what it looks like. And there are homes like that all over they're big ass home, and then it's like everybody has their own little
where you because the property's so damn expensive. You have to let out every individual room.
Yes. So
you'd never afford it.
So, and he wants to be a great author, and he is writing a book about the year in the life of a 12-year-old boy whose mother dies, which is semi-autobiographical, but they never actually talk about it because it's not his story.
Yeah.
Although he's the narrator.
He's the narrator, yeah.
So I guess it is his story, but that story is not his story.
It's the story he's telling.
It's the story he's telling. It's not his story. There you go. So good delineation between that. So anyway, so it's the story he's telling. It's not his story. So he's writing this novel, and above him in this home is a couple, Sophie and Nathan.
Furiously humping.
Furiously at the moment.
Or playing hopscotch.
It's fine. Or dance.
Could be either.
Could be all
Dance,
sorts
yeah,
of
sure.
things. Anyways, they live in the room above him, and that is Meryl Streep and Kevin Kline. And your first introduction to them after said humping, because you're not really introduced to them humping, you just see the chandelier shaking on the ceiling. When you're first introduced to them, Mr. Kevin Kline is telling Sophie how much he hates her, and she's crying on the stairs, and he's like, you're a disease, you're a plague, and then he makes fun of the good old Southern boy, Spanky, Smegma. What else
Stinky.
is it? Stinky.
Stigmo.
Stango. Because it's not...
Stingo.
Stingo, not Stinko.
Not Stinko,
Right,
Stingo.
I just watched it too. Like, I literally
And that's what his name must really suck, because that's what he asks people to call him.
Yeah. I wonder if it's a last name. Anyways,
Stingo
it's
Jones.
Stingo. And
Philip Stingo.
the thing that you will learn, so I'm going to hop around only because it's going to make it easier to discuss the movie, is you will learn later that Mr. Nathan, played by Kevin Kline, beautifully played by Kevin Kline, has some mental disorders. He is schizophrenic, right? Is what we learn.
I think that's what they say.
I think that's what they say. I'm sure I am not a doctor. I should not prescribe anything, and it is just a movie. But there's like
an asshole.
lot of bipolar type of thing. So he really he really is a hot and cold guy and so you see at the very beginning that their relationship is one of abuse. Not physical. I don't think he's ever, he doesn't, he shakes her.
Yeah, I mean,
But all women in the 80s and 70s got shook.
Yeah, he grabs her hard enough by the arm at the end of the movie to bruise her.
But that was the only time. That
seemed
to be a thing. But he yells and he screams and he drinks too much.
Yeah,
and
it's
puts her down.
It's mostly emotional abuse.
Emotional abuse. And, she does the woman oh, that's not who he is. That's not really... you have to forgive him. And then he comes back into her, room crying like, I'm so sorry. And so we learn much later.
Not a healthy relationship.
We learn much later about his mental problems, but it's not as if we did not see them already on the surface. Mm-hmm. The thing about Sophie, now, the three of them become best of friends. That's the thing. They're always together, and then every now and then Mr. Nathan Kevin Kline will fly off the handles thinking that they're sleeping together, or that she's sleeping with anybody, someone else. He just flies off the handles, and then he'll come back. But they are really great friends, and the relationship between Meryl and What's-His-Face is very tumultuous as it goes on, and you learn about her because Peter McNichol is Stango. Is very captivated with her in really just he wants to know everything about her. He's truly in love with her. He's more in love with her than Mr. Kevin Kline is. I guess Kevin would disagree. Mr. Nathan would disagree because he thinks he's in love, but you never know.
Well, he's young. I think it's more puppy love and infatuation,
certainly.
Lust, and
there's a lot there, but
he barely knows her.
True, but for what it is, it's this...
Mm-hmm.
He's very taken with her. And so a lot of the movie is them sitting and talking, and I think it's just them sitting and talking, and then she'll kind of uncover little bit by little bit why she's so dependent on Nathan, and what in her past would make her so open to abuse and being okay with it, because she's a Polish woman whose father was a Nazi sympathizer. He also did not like the Jews. However, because she stole a ham at some point, she was arrested and sent to Auschwitz. She also suffered from being Polish at that time.
Phrasing, but okay. Yeah.
Right, sorry. It's okay if you're Polish, but at that time...
I'm Polish. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. You must be suffering. You're suffering.
Will you get better? We've got Polish ancestry, right?
I thought we were on the Russian side. Are we on the Polish side?
I have no idea what we're a mix. So.
I don't know. Either way, there was a lot of death from our ancestors.
Yeah,
our ancestors are dead.
So all of them died. So they didn't do too well.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's unfortunate.
One half was killing the other.
Yeah, this is also true. There's a big internal fight going on. It's daily. So she brings her children. So you learn later that she has children. Like, you don't... So, first off, she talks about how much she loves her father. And, like, you think that the whole movie is just kind of a bad relationship. And you do. And like I said, when I went into this, I knew there was a harrowing choice. Mm-hmm. But as I was watching the movie, I'm like, have I missed it? Is it that she's choosing an abusive relationship over this little child? Is it that she chose to, there's just so many, because she does, throughout the movie, all of her choices lead up to the ending. And that's the thing. Sophie's choice is based on the one about her children at the very end. You could say that was it, but if you read about it, they all point to that one. But
Sophie's
there are
choice
so many.
It doesn't roll off.
But because at the end when she goes back. But anyway, so I'm not there yet. Mm-hmm. So the point is, she's in Auschwitz, and it's because she can speak good German, and she has fair skin and light hair that she survives, basically, because she gets in with the correct people, but she never sees her kids again. You learn early that she had children, and one of them was killed immediately, and one was sent to a camp, but she never sees them again. But you learn at the end that the reason why the one was killed, spoiler alert, the reason that one was killed early is because when she came with two of them, a German guard said, "Hey, you're pretty, and you can only keep one of your kids."
Pick one.
Literally, pick one. And she picks her son. And she says, "Take my little girl, take my baby."
Does she actually get that? Because I wasn't entirely clear on how the scene played out. The way it read to me was she loses them both, and only when they're both taken away does she make a choice, but at that point it's too late. I wasn't entirely sure.
Well, the boy is taken away and given into a camp, but because they don't show him again. But I think that when she's not making a choice, because she's like, I can't choose, and officers do take both of them and have both of them, and I think she grabs for her son and says, "Take my little girl, take my baby." And I think maybe the officer relinquishes and lets her, hold... I don't know. Because you don't see either of them, but you watch the little girl scream as the officer is, taking her away. So I thought...
She chose...
poorly.
Because the little girl can play the flute. The boy's useless.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a stand-in.
Go with the artist. Go with the musician.
Yeah, she had a flute and a teddy bear. I mean, she classy girl. Yeah. I know who I'd pick of my kids. No, I'm joking. I'm so joking.
Shit, I got 3 and I know which one I'd pick.
I'm so joking. Oh my god. So you learn this at the very end because Nathan goes off the rails, and her and Stingo run away together. He's going to take her to Virginia, and they are going to live in a farm, and they're going to get married, and they're going to have lots of babies. And she's like, "Yo, calm down. I'd be a terrible mother, and here's why, because I get my children killed." Mm-hmm. And then they have lovely, passionate sex, and then she leaves him. And she writes him a little note. This is literally the end of the movie. Writes him a little note saying, "You're a very good lover." She says it, I think, two or three.
Yeah. She opens and ends with
"By the way, you're a real good lover."
Yeah, nothing wrong with your dick. That's A-okay.
It wasn't about that.
It wasn't about the dick.
It was that I am a broken woman and I need to go back to this broken man because I don't deserve anything better and I don't deserve love for the choices that I have made.
That's experience. This is a woman who has slept with a bunch of emotionally fragile young men.
She's like, by the way, it was fine.
It was fine.
You were passionate.
Yeah.
And like it was like the way she made it sound also is like really enthusiastic. You were really going for it.
You got enthusiasm, kid.
She's like, I'll give you that. And so she goes back to Nathan, who poisons them both, and they die.
Yep.
The end. And then Peter McNichol
follows back to the house and
the way that I see it, in a sort of a way, is that the brother, as in Kevin Kline's brother, who is a doctor, calls Peter McNichol and is like, hey, come back. Because when he comes into the house, yes, he has his bag. So one imagines that it wasn't that long. It wasn't that big of a difference. She left, and he probably... Like, do you believe he went back right after? Like, she left him a note, and he's like, I should follow her? Or do you think days went by, and he went back because he got the call?
I don't think he, ran after it was gonna, like, hold the boombox over his head and...
I've never actually seen that movie.
I've never seen it either.
Yeah.
Is that John Cusack?
Say Anything?
Yeah, Say Anything. It's John Cusack, isn't it?
That it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
And Ione Skye, which I still haven't seen.
Also, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Also, boomboxes. Where are you going to get one?
It's like, I'm not even mad. Where'd you get a boombox?
Yeah, like, this is awesome. Like, seriously.
No, actually, forget the boombox. Where did you get 12D batteries to power that thing?
We had... What are the big... I think they're C's? The
C's
square
and D's are
ones?
the cylinder ones.
Yeah, so we had to get our garage door code thing a new battery, and I think it was the C ones. And we have a bag, because we are those people that have the bag of batteries that maybe they're good, maybe they're not.
Yeah.
So you have to tell. And so I took one out, and I was like, I can't tell. I was like, this one might be old. And he did the little... tongue thing, and I was like,
not on a C or D. On a 9-volt you'd be able to do
that's
that.
the one. Maybe.
Yeah.
Is it square?
It's a rectangle. Yeah.
Okay, then that's the one. Maybe it was a 9-volt that we needed.
Yeah, it's one of these, right?
Yeah, it looked just like that because he did a thing.
One of these.
And I was like, I forgot all about that as being an option for
Yep.
Because I guess those were used a lot more back in the day. I guess. Because now they're just AAA everywhere.
Triples and doubles.
Triples and doubles are everywhere. Is there a single A battery? Like, why is there a double and a triple? Is there a single?
I would imagine there was at one time. I can't think of it. I can't think of a B battery either. I think of C's and D's and 9-volts and AA's and AAA's. And then you've got the flat little lithium batteries.
Yeah, a lot of those. And they just have
and then
weird
you've got car
codes.
batteries.
Yeah, that's its own special thing.
Yeah.
So
imagine if like television remotes had to be hooked up to some size and weight of a car battery.
Could you imagine? You have your remote and you have your phone. You have to go like you have to crank start your.
Like a lawnmower.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love that so much.
These wouldn't be as usful if the batteries were that large.
No, but maybe people wouldn't be as addicted as they are. So
be really damn buff though.
Oh my god, you'd have to like switch arms so you didn't have like
just
like, one really.
Oh damn, that's just, there we go. Got to even that out.
Even that out. So the point is about the movie is that there's so many sad things, but somehow it's delivered in a way that makes it like, what is it about this movie that you don't cry and something like Steel Magnolias that you do? Is it because the other people are crying and you just cry when you see people cry?
I think it's because, for me anyway, I think it's because we're introduced to Kevin Kline and Meryl Streep as broken people. instead of people that we get to know and love and
then they break.
Watch as they fall apart.
That's true, because then you're on a path and you're like, oh God, don't do it, and then it breaks your heart. Okay,
yeah,
that's actually
they're
very
already
astute.
there. So
we already know
yeah.
It's tragique.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense.
Also, and a critique of the film, I would say, is I just don't buy the relationship, particularly. Like I just.
Which one?
Yeah,
Kevin
the
Kline
whole
and
thing, really.
all three of them?
Yeah, I mean, I get the toxic relationship between Klein and Stewart.
Okay, I was gonna say, because that is a very realistic toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just don't see either of them adopting Stingo as their pet friend, and I can,
who's like 10 years younger.
Yeah, I can kind of see Stingo because he's crushing on
he
Sophie.
wants to be with them,
right? Yeah, he makes it a point to say that he loves them both, and I don't know if
he says it a lot.
He does, but I'm like, is that true though? Why would you? I get, Sophie's hot. I get it. You're young. I get it. But Kevin Kline is obnoxious and annoying.
Well, the way that I see it also is so. Stingo's 22. And Kevin Kline and Meryl Streep are supposely like early 30s.
Something like that.
Although Kevin Kline says that he's like 29 or something like that.
Yeah, he's probably a little younger.
He says he's a little younger. She's the oldest of them all. We'll get on Meryl Streep in a moment and just the flawlessness that she is. But to me, he's so young. And he's so new. And these two, when they are good, like when they are on their highs, they are just fun, exciting people who like play dress up and have picnics. And Nathan, Kevin Kline's character, reads the manuscript that Stingo and like says it's amazing. Mm-hmm. You have no idea if he means it. We never read it. We don't know even if it gets published. We know nothing about it. All we know is that it's important to him, obviously. That's what he came to Brooklyn to do. And then, well, he came to New York, but he couldn't afford New York City. So he went to Brooklyn.
Park.
And so, so I think, like, for him, it's like he's in love with Sophie. He's probably very captivated by this romance, and that and he probably just wants to. When they're good, he just wants to be part of that. And this guy tells him that he's a great writer. So he's like...
It's the same shit he pulls with Sophie. Butters her up and is the nicest
guy. Of course. And it just...
So when
it works both directions.
Yeah, so when he's awful, you remember, it's like, but he's so nice otherwise. Yeah. He's just having a bad moment. This is not really him. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that... that disconnect I had with the actual relationship of the characters, I was like, the whole thing rings false, and it is. So that's probably another thing that kept me as an audience member at a distance from that.
And I do understand that, because even though my bestie is married and I'm actually like, as a couple, like they're both great friends of mine, and the three of us like hang out all the time, and I love them very much. Well, I don't like being touched anyways. Touching sucks. But like, those three in the movie are very, like, very openly.
Let's all sit in a hammock together and sip wine and read Emily Dickinson.
Like, they all like cuddle buddle a lot. Yeah. And I'm just like, no.
Cuddle buddies. If you're my buddy, you won't cuddle me. I don't want to be cuddled.
Yeah. But, so, like, because I have, like, I'm okay with it being, like, a couple and a single. Definitely okay with that. And I'm okay with it.
Yeah, but you guys start making out and petting, I'm leaving.
Yeah, there's... Ow, yeah! Wait, he does sometimes seem uncomfortable. He's always like, they're just making... Sometimes he likes it, because I think he's just projecting himself into one of the...
vicariously through Nathan.
Into one of the things, but, yeah. Or her, depending on his mood that day. Who knows? You never know. He says he loves them both. maybe this is like our first throuple in movie history that we just didn't understand.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Meryl Streep is a goddess.
Mm-hmm.
May as well just say that. When I watched this movie, and I was telling Brother this earlier, when I watched this movie the first time, and then again this time, I should look up who she was against for Best Actress in 82. Mm-hmm. She did win. This was her second win, funny enough. And then years and years and years and years and years later, she wins again, her third time. Prada? No, I think it was the Queen for... Not the Queen. That was...
She was up for Prada, wasn't she?
Yes, she was up. It was...
supporting, I think.
The Iron Lady? Iron Woman?
Margaret Thatcher? Sure.
Iron Lady?
Yeah, I think so.
Lady. Queen was Mirren.
Mm-hmm, Helen Mirren.
Yes. I just got the wrong thing. But anyways, and then Kramer versus Kramer was when she won the first time, and I think that was either 81 or 80. I had to be 80.
I don't think I've seen that.
Because she didn't do back-to-back. I've never seen it. I actually haven't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I haven't seen it.
I have not. I have seen A Marriage Story, though, and that's just as harrowing.
Same movie.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I don't think I need to see the other one, although Meryl Streep is great. But what I was going to say is when I saw it long ago, Sophie's Choice, I honestly had a moment, an elongated moment, I am embarrassed to say, but I had an elongated moment that, is Meryl Streep Polish? Has she just been foreign this whole time and she's doing an American accent? Like, and to be even compound my idiocy, there was a movie long ago with Mr. Brad Pitt in it called The Devil's Own. He plays an Irishman. And now, I have not seen it for many, 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 many years. So I cannot tell you if it holds up. And by it, I mean Brad Pitt's accent. But I had the same feeling about him when he was in that movie. I was like, is Brad Pitt Irish? And I just never knew it? And he's been putting it on this whole time, this American thing. You know, because remember when everyone thought Gwyneth Paltrow was British, but she's not. She's full-on American. But, like, there was this whole big, like, because she played a whole bunch of Brit parts in a row, everyone just, like, assumed that she was British.
Well, it's like Nicole Kidman. She's Australian or something,
She is Australian.
Yeah, so, but she's almost always playing an American.
Always playing an American.
So you see her in an interview, and you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
You're like, shut that off. I know you don't have to speak like that if you don't want to. Isn't that rude of me? But anyways, so Meryl Streep she learned German, she learned Polish for this movie. She did learn it. I don't know if she learned it fluently, but she learned it enough that it seemed like she was a great actress, and she won the part, and freaking gorgeous. Like, what? Like, just... So, in the movie, she is recalling...
they do some real nice makeup work, especially
and
back
lighting.
in the Auschwitz.
Beautiful lighting, too.
With making her look gaunt
sallow.
and stuff. Yeah.
And her teeth are different, too, if you notice. Mm-hmm. Her teeth are different. They're very yellowed back in the... And then she gets work done on her teeth. Like, you just assume they never talk about it, but you can see the difference in when she's in the concentration camps till now. But the soft lighting of this movie on her makes her look like an angel all the time. And during, not the story when you learn about the children, but the story right before, when she's standing in the window and it's just her face and she's almost looking into the camera, but just not quite, and it's only her face. You know the one I mean? It's like in the last still of the movie is of that, shot.
Oh, it's superimposed, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, it's
which is a weird choice.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing here? But
yeah.
okay.
So like we're talking about the very end of the movie,
shot,
the very final shot of the movie.
Spoilers for 40-year-old film.
I know, right? My gosh, it was 82, y'all. We were both
41-year-old film.
Oh God, that hurts.
we were babies.
We were babies, but we were both alive. I was a baby.
Yep, you were one. Yeah, that's right.
And then
I was two. So yeah,
you were terrible too.
Yeah. Never grew out of that.
No. No.
He hit two, and he sucked ever since.
He hit 2, and he was like, "Yeah, I could get used to this."
Yeah, this is who I am.
This is who I am.
Some people take years to find themselves. I figured it out when I was 2. I am terrible.
I'm so good. Good gravy. But yeah, at the very end of the movie, so I don't think we'd said about, like, he kills her with poison from cyanide, right? Is it cyanide that he kills her with? Well, kills both of them with. And so they are in an embrace in bed, lying together, lifeless, dead. And Peter McNichol...
Doesn't look like there was a struggle either.
No.
I think that was a mutual thing. I think she was just tired.
Yeah, I think that it was a not...
Like, they scarfed down, put it in some wine, read some Dickinson, cuddled up in bed, and went to sleep. Yeah.
Very much like Last of Us. It really reminded me of that.
And right.
So, but to me, and Peter McNichol stands at the foot of the bed and reads a poem, and it, like, fades up into the trees, and you think that that's, like, the last shot. And in my head, like, them lifeless in bed, him reading, it's like, and it's a lovely composed shot that they fade out of, and then they fade into a weird, like,
they transpose
just her image, and it's the image of her, the one that I was explaining, where she looks all angelic and she's almost looking at the camera and she's telling the harrowing story of Auschwitz, but it's like the juxtaposition of, like, this gorgeous angel and, like, the suffering that she did, and they just bring that one image back up, but very faint.
Yeah, it's translucent.
It's there. It's obviously
like
there.
Her ghost.
I'm like, why are we know the movie's named after her. We don't, like, just in case you didn't get it, she's the one that's important here.
It was her choice.
Yeah, this was her choice, and that's the thing is, like,
another choice.
It was all and she chose to go back, and and it's, I think it's so sad that, like, and I don't know, I've never been in that position, obviously, any of them that she was in, and she just regretted every choice that got her there was just kind of like the wrong one. And you know what I thought was very interesting? So 2 things stood out to me in the movie, and then I swear I'll let you talk, because I think I've been talking this whole time, because to me it's just like it's a great film. Again, okay guys, I'm never watching it again now. Now is actually the time. This will never be watched again. Which is funny, because the movie that I'm about to have us watch is one that I've also said that about. Here we go.
Oh, you're next. You're the movie you're mandating you've seen?
I have.
Okay.
And I will explain why I've chosen it in a moment. This is all true. Children. So let's talk about children.
Horrid little things.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I tell you, some of the most horrific imagery from, well, this film, or really any film, is
the happy children.
Is the happy children that have been indoctrinated into just horrific bigotry.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Just seeing these, like, 8 to 12-year-olds, to see these cherubic little Nazis, is
terrifying.
It's terrifying and heartbreaking and frustrating, and to me that's some of the most horrific stuff.
There's a scene in that exactly what I was going to talk about. Is there's this scene, very short, not even important. It's like an establishing thing, when she's at Auschwitz and she is the secretary for this commandante guy, and so she's his secretary, and he has children who are called into the house, and they come running in, and they're laughing, and they start eating some sweets in the kitchen, and they're told, "Oh, no, go," and I thought to myself, I'm like, that's their life. Their life is they're eating sweets from a kitchen, and outside their door, Jews are being hung.
Literally.
Literally.
They're in the house. You go outside the house, there's a yard that has a fence around it. Literally on the other side of the fence is the building where they keep all of the people, strip them down and gas them.
Yeah. Because they show her walking in, and that one time there is someone hanging
through the mud. There's someone hanging in a gallows. You've got all the naked people packed in like sardines,
reaching for her, or just reaching.
She just goes through the gate, and it opens up into this landscaped cherry trees courtyard. The kids. We're children.
Yeah, and it truly, and it's so funny because again, like now as someone who's older, and also the stuff we've lived through in the last like 6 years, I just see that and I'm like, it hits different, and that truly is like, it's just like, are you kidding me? That was their reality, and it didn't seem to faze them. It made sense to them because
it's what they know. It's what they've been raised to think and believe and act.
Yeah,
and not all of them will escape that abuse.
Correct. And that's unfortunate. So, yeah. But yeah, so that was there are two scenes with children that aren't hers. And that's one of them, and then the other one is the little girl who thinks that she's about to steal the radio. Because she is. And
regards her, and it's like, treats her as if, ooh, I found a kitten. I'm going to bring it in out of the cold and play with it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to look at my pictures with me and listen to everything I have to say about why I'm so cool and all of this.
Because if you don't, I'll tell my daddy and he'll murder you.
Yeah, like literally you can threaten someone with, if I tell on you, your life is over.
Yeah, you'll die. Horribly.
Like,
I've seen it.
Like, my kids tell on each other and, like, you get your iPad taken away, which maybe seems like death to them, but you'll get it again tomorrow. You just get it taken away for the rest of the day.
Yeah, clear your browser history.
My kids are still young.
Actually, I meant it in a way of, you'll never find those stupid videos that you like because I've deleted all your bookmarks and stuff.
Okay,
that's where I was going with that.
Do you know what I do every time that I take away an iPad? Which, by the way, happens.
Sure.
I don't want to say a lot. I don't want them to think that. But, like, they don't watch this. But, like, a good amount. I have 3 kids. But every time I take away the iPad, I always do the double click to open all the apps. And I go, choo, choo, choo. And I can spend a full, like, 30 seconds just getting rid. Oh my
God, it's like an old person who has 50 browser tabs open. Close your damn tabs!
But so, like, honestly, I don't mind. And then, so that's one thing that I do. The second thing that I do is I take my spray bottle of vinegar and water.
Are you collecting browser tabs?
I also spray it down with vinegar and water because they're all sticky. I'm like, why are your... I don't understand. But, like, I also don't understand, like, because, like, I get fingerprints on this and I don't like it. But it's not sticky. I could, like, move... Like, if I had a character that I needed to move around, I wouldn't be, like, going over bumps of, like, jam. And I'm like, how does your game even know you're touching when you have, like...
Are you playing Candy Crush with your tongue? What are you doing?
It's so disgusting. And so...
Or whatever the kids play on their Genshin Impact.
The only time that they get their stuff cleared and or cleaned is when I take it away. And then, you would think that they'd be like... here, fix my...
this is much better.
But no, they never notice that it is probably going faster and much, yeah. And they're like, I was saving that for later. That chocolate sauce was on there for a reason. So anyways, great first outing for Kevin Kline, I must say.
Yeah,
Very natural. Yeah. Very natural. Mm-hmm. I did not look to see what he did before that, if he was a stage man, because I know...
I would imagine he either did theater or TV or something.
I'm thinking...
that's
high-profile
yeah.
performance.
And
Like, that's a big
that's
deal.
someone with some experience behind him.
Yeah. I'm gonna say stage rather than TV. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
And Brother's not going to, but he'll put the answer here. No, he won't. No, he won't. No, he won't. But anyways, I'm gonna say stage just because of the acting, because he continued doing stage, and because it was a very emotive part, and I don't feel like.
Yeah, it does have a bit of a play to the backseats feel to it, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad.
No. The character, it works for his character.
It does work for his character. It's also another reason.
He's very broad and theatrical, so.
Yeah. I could never.
So he could have been drawn on actual theater experience for that. So
yeah, absolutely. When I was doing acting for television classes, I realized very early I am not an actor for television. I am stage. I am stage and all stage. I could never make it for many, many reasons. To be fair to myself, for many reasons, I could not make it. I don't come from money, but definitely theater. I was not good on film, and yet here you are looking at me. No, you're not. Hopefully, you're just listening. But that's okay. It's a great shirt that I'm wearing. So yeah.
So one thing I would like to bring up. Sophie. As I mentioned, one of the tragedies of Sophie,
yes, absolutely,
is the fact that she can't face the horrors of her reality, and uses Nathan and Stingo as, and probably other things in her life, as an escape from that. And any time, poetry and stuff like that. Anything, two things. That librarian, he definitely knew who the hell
Emily
she
Dickens was.
Well,
she
was saying like Emile Dixon or something.
But like, if she was talking about
you
because
can't be
he does say
Charles Dickens or something.
Dickens.
That's not what she said.
So like, if she goes Emile and I'm like
Emile Dixon or something.
Yeah, but I'm like, you would have known.
Yeah, it's Emily Dickinson, you asshole. I think he's being racist. Yeah, he was being... Or misogynist or both.
He was being something. God, she's so good in the movie, though, because she even... Like, that's the thing, is, and I know you have points to make, but, like, not only does she have an accent, but she truly, like, has that broken English accent,
She does that frustration when she can't think of what the word she's looking for. It's... where she'll stop and she'll say, where... You know, she's like, I know it. I've heard this word. What is the word of it? That frustration. She does that really well.
This is not my first language, and so it's Anyways,
she's like, I speak 5 or 6 languages. How come I can't wrap my tongue around English? Stupid language. Yeah. Stupid English. Okay, so where I was going with this is part of her inability to face the reality of her life, her past, is she when she's put in a position where she has to dredge up the past, she reflexively lies about it.
Yes, she does.
And she does that throughout the entire movie until we get to the end.
Yeah.
But is the last thing she tells about her life true or not? Or is that just another lie that she's using to cover up something maybe even worse? Did Sophie even have children? Because they kind of came out of nowhere. That was the first thing that caught my eye. Is she's like, you know, because at first she's talking about her father, and then she talks about, okay, my father was a Nazi sympathizer, and okay, I had to work with my Nazi sympathizer father, and then okay, I got into, I left, and I was with I took this other lover, and then suddenly I have 8-year-old children. I'm like, what? Where? Huh? Yeah. Because it's like, I would expect babies, but no, these are 6 to 8-year-old kids.
Yeah, because when you find out that she's married, and he was like, wait, you've been married? And she's like,
yeah, so you were with this guy for, like, multiple years? It doesn't sound like that. So I have to wonder how much, if any of the stories, including the titular Sophie's Choice, how much, if any of it, is actually true.
Yeah.
Because a couple of times she's like, okay, I'll tell you the truth. And then, 40 minutes later, maybe, okay, I'll tell you the truth this time. Okay, here's the truth. It's like, well, that's the last thing we heard before she cyanides, but it's possible that nothing she said was totally true.
I mean, to be as broken as she is, even if none of it was true, something just as harrowing had
there
to
are
have
definitely
happened.
elements in there. Like, there's some...
and, like, I would have to believe... I mean, both her kids are dead. Like, let's put it out there. But, like, just one was an obvious... Did it because... And then... But she never...
I think she's more complicit in Nazism than she's letting on. Because at first she was like, oh, my father's great. No, your father was a Nazi.
I agree.
And you were working with him.
I agree.
So I know my lover was a freedom fighter. Maybe... Or maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that may be made up. She may have actually, her lover may have actually been that commandant.
Yeah, that's true too.
And she may have had kids with him. And she also says in the movie, she says the truth. God, I can't even remember what the truth is anymore because she may not even know at this point.
Yeah, which is true. There's a lot.
She's been running from it and lying about it and just trying to forget it, and that is the horror and tragedy of that character.
Yeah, she drinks. I don't think it actually.
Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, I don't think it actually matters whether it is this true or not. It's a fun thing to speculate about, but for the purposes of the point of the story, I don't think it actually matters. But it is kind of a fun thing to think about. It's like,
yeah,
is this true though?
Right. It is. It is very interesting. And another thing that I thought was very interesting is when she is thinking about stealing the radio. Mm-hmm. I think this movie does a very good job. Whether or not we believe much of what, her side. So, someone asks her to steal this radio, someone from the resistance, and she's like, I can't. And I have watched many a World War II movie, Holocaust movie. Like, let's be clear, I have watched several. And oftentimes, I find myself thinking... that I would have been, I would have rebelled. I would have.
Oh, I would have tried.
Shit. Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. But I think to myself, I wouldn't work with them even if I had the chance because that's not whatever. Mm-hmm. But watching this movie, probably because it's Meryl, she looks at that radio and you can see all of that conflicted emotion right there. And I really did think when I was watching it, I was like, man, the true weight of life or death was on the line every moment.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of movies, even though in this nebulous way, we know that they're putting their lives on the line in all these movies, but there was something about that moment, that hesitation, that that you think, I don't know if they represent that in other movies as well, of that this could be if she gets caught, that is
every
it.
Moment is your
every moment could be your what if they just see her standing on the stairs contemplating, why are you just standing there? What were you doing? Yeah. Just everything. And it is an interesting thing. And then I'm like, oh,
your pants are not properly hemmed.
Oh my god.
To the gulag with you.
And yeah, so.
Gulag.
Goulet.
And last thing, the narrator.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh.
I didn't get this.
So the movie is narrated by, Stingo. Golly.
Future Stingo.
Future Stingo narrates this movie. And it is not Peter McNichol.
Nope.
It does the whole Wonder Years convention.
Yeah.
Of here's the young man and here's the grown man. The problem is that the young man is grown.
Yeah, he's young 20s.
And it takes me out because I was like, is that not... I'm like, that's not him. Why is someone else narrating when he could have so easily been...
Yeah, I don't understand that
worst decision of the movie.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, because almost all the decisions in the movie were very good, this one is starkly terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also know that Peter McNichol could have just made his voice a little bit more somber, because you speak different when you're narrating anyway.
Yes.
There is a different cadence to your voice. So he could have very easily just done it.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have to be like, who's narrating?
Is it his child? Is it?
Because it's also
a
thicker accent
than
he has. It's a different accent. Different.
Yeah, it's
than he has. So it's a very thankfully it's not a lot. It comes in from time to time. It's like every 30 minutes.
In the beginning, it's in the end. It's every 30
every 30 minutes, maybe there's like a line or two of the narrator going, and that's what that day was, or something, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right, someone's telling us this story. So it's not but every time it's like, all 4 or 5 times are just really bitter.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. You're right. Yeah, that's a 1.
Yeah. Okay, well, I feel bad. Do you feel bad?
Feel terrible.
Okay, let's feel worse.
So, speaking of Brad Pitt, when I was a kid, I watched a movie, and it was the first movie I ever watched that made me feel, like I said, what I think a feel-bad movie is. Just, I didn't cry. I was just like, well, I never cried when I was a kid anyway, but I was just like, what am I supposed to feel about this movie? This is just terrible. Everything is terrible. Their lives suck. Legends of the Fall.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know if it holds... This is also one of those... Maybe it was just terrible. I remember the ending very, very, very vividly. I remember the last line very vividly. I remember the very last... Actually, the last line was...
Goodbye,
4
Shane.
words. No, I never watched Shane. But there's a 4-word sentence that ends the movie, and it's not the 4-word sentence that ends 1984, which is also an amazing book. But anyways, yeah, so Legends of the Fall was the first one that ever made me feel bad, and I would like to revisit it and see...
I'd like to share that with you.
Well, I like to share it with you, brother, but also because I chose it because I want to just see if it's still just as feel bad, or if maybe as an adult it makes more sense.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right.
There you go.
Well, today's episode may have come to an end, but Feel Bad Movie Month continues next time with Kelly's mandated movie, Legends of the Hidden Temple. No, Legends of the Fall.
Was that one of those?
That's one of those like Nickelodeon shows, game shows, where the kids got to run through the temple.
And they found the little tokens, like the little circle. Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. That was a cool show.
I like it. I saw you taking a picture of the screen earlier. I had no idea.
I was going to just transfer the document over, and then I got lazy. I'm like, screw it.
It's hilarious. This is funny. Keep going.
I just took a photo of the script.
I like it.
If you would like to watch it too, Legends of the Hidden Temple, maybe you can find reruns on Netflix or something. I like Legends of the Fall. It's probably playing somewhere.
I'm sure
look in the description,
somewhere.
see where it's currently streaming.
God help us, it better be playing somewhere.
Until then, you can watch Movie Mandates on YouTube or listen to it in podcast form on iTunes. And hey, if you enjoy the show and would like to help us reach a wider audience, engagement is key. So if you're watching on YouTube, like and comment. And if you're listening on iTunes, rate and review. Much obliged. And with that, I'm Andrew, and you can follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen.
I'm Kelly, and I'm on Instagram at PimentoLivia.
We hope you all enjoyed this episode of Movie Mandates, although it's a feel-bad movie, so maybe you didn't.
Well, but you enjoyed...
You enjoyed our
us.
Misery, yes.
You enjoyed that we were...
bad, right. So we'll be back soon with another mandated movie. Bye, everyone!
Bye!